Hey guys, Video Fletcher. Just wanted to do a quick video really. This is something that often really isn't on my channel that much anymore. Started to do more vlog related stuff, and that's by the by. The point is, I just wanted to talk about The Division. This is Tom Clancy's The Division. Recently I said that I was playing it, let you know that I was playing it, streaming it, and I've played about 17 hours of the game now. 17 hours of the game probably isn't enough to touch upon the absolute upper limits of the depth or the for lack of depth in the game. However, I've got people that are level 89 in the Dark Zone. I've got somebody that's got 7 characters to 30 and multiple like level 200 gear on Uplay. So I've spoke to them and I sort of got a grasp of the game through their opinions and my opinions. The gameplay you're seeing is me doing some side missions and one main mission. I'll jump between the two. I won't make this video go on too long. I think it's a very simple decision should you buy The Division. The Division is a third-person loot-based game. It's a mixture between what I would call Gears of War and Borderlands-esque. The cover system isn't as smooth as Gears of War. In fact, most third-person shooters, I don't actually use the cover. You use the wall hugs, you know, the pull-off techniques, the swap-the-shoulder techniques. I don't really use cover that much. As you can see here, we're picking up different loots that drops. You can see a piece of blue loot just dropped. You can deconstruct things for crafting materials. And as you kill the bosses throughout the game and the side missions, the loot drops effectively. Again, you can see here is my inventory. It's full at the moment. I'm pretty much carrying everything I need. The game doesn't hold your hand in any way. That's a massive plus. You can go and do a side mission. You can go and do a main mission. You can just run around the street for a while and watch the snow. You would say, why would you want to watch the snow? The game has really good graphics. Surprisingly good. I'm like a fiend for graphics. You know, I'll play Witcher. I bought a new PC so I can play all the new modern games on Ultra. I really like graphics. I think like one of the main sort of reasons for me ditching console to come to PC was the graphics side. So it makes sense that I play the best graphic games when possible. So you can see the city itself is incredibly detailed, amazingly so. However, and I will say however, it feels like a big ocean. This big open ocean that you're looking at, but when you dip your toes in, it's like surface deep. It's in the game to walk around the town. You've got volumetric snow blowing around. The graphics are crisp as anything. They're arguably some of the best graphics I've seen, and you know, I don't say that lightly. However, you run around the town and it's such an amazing city to run around, but there's really not much exploring to do, really. When you run around, you might bump into an AI that says, you know, I'm cold, can you give me a blanket or some water, and you'll get XP for helping them. And some of the interactions are fairly real, and it is good to explore. You can find gear. I found some early shotguns the earlier time I was exploring. You can see right now I'm sort of struggling which way to go. Then I figure out you have to climb through the window and go up the stairs, and it's all enterable terrain, well, most of it. However, it's incredibly detailed during the kitchen here. Everything is like so detailed. The game feels amazing to run around. However, it's just so disappointing that it's almost attached to this co-op based shooter. The game is, I think the game would suit DayZ style so much better if they had this city with an open world aspect like DayZ, and you just bumped into other PvP players and you had to like swap gear and kill monsters. It'd be great. Absolutely fantastic. However, it just feels a little bit lackluster, and it's disappointing because the actual city is so great. The city's, and I keep saying the city's so great because it is. You want to run around it, you see every building sculptured, every block just looks amazing. So you think to yourself, I would really like to not do the missions. I would like to go and explore this town some more. However, when you do that, you quickly realise that there's nothing there. Most of the doors you can't go in. You get the same AI repeating, "Hey there, thanks for your good work," as he shouts out the window. And it just feels lackluster. There's basically only things to do like this. Like, you'll push a button and you might rescue some civilians on a side mission. You might get some gloves. You might get a piece of gear. But ultimately, all you're ever doing, from my experience in 17 hours, there may be more, I don't know, but when you wander around the town, because I like to play these open world games, when you wander around the town, there's nothing. There are a few bags, and then you open the bag by holding the F key, and you'll get a medipack, just something that's just not very good, you know. It's not worth your time exploring, and that's such a shame because it's such a nice town to look around, or city. So those are my only negatives really with the game. I think the gunplay is good. I think the actual graphics, the controls are great. I like the loot system. I think having loot drop from missions is fun, you know. Am I going to get a really nice gun, or am I going to have to grind some more? We'll get onto the grinding aspect in a second, but for me, the game's £40. I paid 20 off a website. It was 20 quid on sale, so I bought it. £20 for me is reasonable. I wouldn't pay 40 for it. The reason is because the game is amazing as a co-op shooter. You play this with your friends, slightly under-geared. I probably skip to some missions now. As you can see, we're running around the city. It looks great. We'll skip to some missions. If you're slightly under-geared in a mission, it is really tough to do. It's really tough to complete, and it's challenging, and it's so fun. You have the whole system of I'll pick you up, you pick me up, you get loot, you have to focus the bosses. There's different types of bosses. You have your purples, your yellows, your standard type roguey people, and these your standard rogue people, and it's just great. It feels so fun to play in a team. The only way I can describe this is it's like Left 4 Dead, but with loot and depth. You have the Left 4 Dead co-op missions, which are a blast, but you also have the element of loot, inventory, you have skills, you have skill trees, which you can change from being like a sort of a turret-based guy that shoots flames to a sticky bomb guy to just a straight-up assault rifle that does more damage in cover. There aren't that many options in the skill tree. It's not Path of Exile level of depth. It's not, you know, Diablo level of skill tree. You can't completely change it, but you do get set items. You do get blueprints to craft and stuff. For me, I'm not going to focus too much on the loot. I think the game's fun enough to play as a co-op shooter without the loot. Just the missions itself are super fun to play with your friends. If you play on your own, which I did for like the first 12 hours, the game's pretty boring, to be honest. If you're going to play this game on your own, I wouldn't buy it. I would say the Dark Zone, which is the PvP area, isn't good enough to merit playing solo all the time on your own. It's fun, you might enjoy it. Basically what it is you go into another map like this. You go into a map and you're on your own. You can kill monsters, they can drop loot. The loot it drops you have to extract out of that area. A helicopter comes down, you attach it to a rope and you extract it. Whilst you're extracting it, other people that are in the map see that there's an extraction going on. They can come and kill you, they can help you, they can be your friend, yeah, or they can kill you and you lose your loot. So you could spend the entire time killing these monsters. You finally get a nice shotgun upgrade, and then some guy comes in the back and kills you and you lose your shotgun. Now to me, I like that element. I like the fact the game is tough. I think a lot of people don't understand that this game is a Diablo-esque, Path of Exile-esque game where you have to grind. You see forum posts after forum posts and Reddit posts that people are getting pissed off because they haven't got a new gun upgrade in like 2.5 hours of farming. People need to realise that I played Path of Exile for 2,000 hours and there are pieces of gear that I have never seen drop. In Diablo there are items like the furnace that never drop, that are so rare to drop. And part of the appeal of these games, of these Diablo style games, is eventually when you finally get that drop you're like, Hallelujah, it's happened. The combination of the equivalent would be you have an M4 on this game and it needs to roll like 5 good stats. You might finally get the M4, but it might be complete shit. Now, some people will go, I farmed for 10 hours, I farmed for 100 hours, and the M4 I got is shit. Well, that is the same as Diablo. These are the type of games you play in. So if you're trying to play it for the super high-end loot, yeah, stuff won't drop. People need to realise, so I think a lot of players are from console, and they don't really grasp the idea that you don't just get upgrades every time you level up. This isn't Call of Duty. You don't hit level 22 and go, ah, right, I've got the AK, level 23, nice, new Barrett 50 cal. These aren't upgrades that happen every time. You might play for 100 hours and not get a better gun. You might play for 1 hour and get a better gun. That's RNG. That is not what people were saying. The people were saying these game developers don't know how to make games, no loot's dropping. No, actually, these are the type of games that are good. When loot doesn't drop, it's good, because it sounds like I'm making a cop-out answer for the devs, but no. If you got all your guns instantly, there'd be no late game, there'd be no satisfaction to playing the game out, or farming an area, or farming the dark zone, if you just got all your guns straight away. You have to have an element of grinding and RNG, because if somebody gets it on their very first run of the dark zone, it's like, holy shit, hallelujah. Somebody might do 200 runs and think, finally, I've got the damn gun I wanted, and they'll be really pleased. So you need to understand that going into this isn't COD where it throws you a new gun every level. You have to work for your drops. Again, that was the loot system. The actual most fun element for me is just the co-op shooter. I'll show you a clip here as I'm doing a side mission. The matchmaking's in progress. So I've clicked a mission on the map, and I've searched for a group here. Now I can play the game as I want. There's no hand holding, which I like. There's no loading screens or any shit like that. What I really enjoy is I search for a co-op game, and I'm just play the game, and then when my game pops, when the queue pops and I'm ready, I can just stop the mission, I can stop exploring the world and jump into that matchmake game, and I can play with a group of people and try beat a mission. And it's so fun to play with people. So my experience with the game is, yeah, the loot system obviously could do with the rework at the absolute high end. I don't think there are enough good drops, or I don't think there's a reason to farm. In Diablo or Path of Exile, you have like a super boss at the end or an area of content that you want to complete. However, with the Division, there's not really much point grinding out to get that drop, because there's no super high-end content that you need that drop to kill. So it feels like a bit of a thankless task. You're grinding for no real reason apart from for the grinding's sake. Whereas in other games like Diablo, you're actually grinding so I can complete a higher Rift level, or Path of Exile so you can complete at Zeri, Uber at Zeri, you know, a level for the 82 map, you know. However, in Division, there's not really anything to go ahead and do at the late game. There's an update coming, but for me, I would say at 20 quid, 30 quid, if you have a group of mates that want to buy this game and you want to play through the campaign, I would say go for it. I think it's a fun game to play with friends as a co-op shooter. Killing bosses, you know, there are hard missions in it that you will fail. You will all get pinned in. The waves of enemies will be coming. You'll have to think of new positions to hold, where to revive each other, what sort of skills you're going to use. Are you going to use the sticky bombs? Is somebody going to use a turret? Is somebody going to use just frag grenades? Is somebody going to use a sniper at the back? I think it plays best as a co-op shooter. My only problem with the game is it sort of has no identity. It's sort of a PvP game with the Dark Zone, but that doesn't work too well. It's fun, but I can see why people don't like it. I do, some people don't. It's best as a co-op shooter, yet you have this massive expansive area that looks amazing, that makes people want to go explore, yet when they do go explore, there's absolutely nothing for them to do. So I would say it's close to being brilliant. It's not quite brilliant. I would say it's super fun playing with your friends. That's really all I've got to say. I just wanted to give you a quick rundown. I've been playing it. I've enjoyed it, like I say. co-op shooter. It's fun. It's a blast. It's like playing Left 4 Dead. But I'm just watching the gameplay back. It just feels lackluster when you're on your own, because when you're on your own, you're either playing a mission on your own, which is fairly boring, because once you're down, you're dead. You can't revive each other. It gets a bit frustrating, and there's nothing really to explore. You don't think, well, my friends aren't online, I'll go explore the city for an hour and see what I can find. There's no, like, you play, say, Fallout 4, and a side mission might build a whole new storyline and a whole new character. The Witcher might have, you know, I think it said it had 3 years worth of voice acting. There are massive stories when you go and explore. This game isn't like that. It feels lackluster to explore. It's the best as a co-op shooter. I really enjoyed it, playing through the campaign. I don't think I'll be grinding the game to the highest level and doing the super high-end dark zones. I just enjoyed it, playing with my friends for a laugh. I hop on it now and then. It's certainly not a game that makes me play it every day. I just jump on it now and then, and it's been fun. Anyway, that's just my thoughts on The Division. I don't know what other people think of the game. I haven't really done a game review before on my channel. I just thought I'd just throw some gameplay up and talk. Hopefully that suffices you. Hopefully have a nice day, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace.